Dozens of Texas Democratic lawmakers face potential civil arrests after fleeing the state to block a GOP redistricting vote. And the U.S. State Department wants to impose a $15,000 visa fee on some foreign travelers. Good morning, I'm Corva Coleman from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. Texas Republican officials say they're taking steps to force dozens of Democratic state lawmakers to come back. The Democrats left Texas to stop a GOP effort to redraw the state's congressional maps. Lauren McGaughy of the Texas Newsroom reports Republicans are considering several sanctions.
The most immediate threat is civil arrest. On Monday afternoon, Governor Greg Abbott authorized state troopers to round up the Democrats who fled. That'll be hard since most of them are out of state, beyond troopers' jurisdiction. House Speaker Dustin Burrows says this will only postpone Republican plans to redraw the maps.
Let me assure you of this. While our work may be delayed, whether it's tomorrow or next week, the House will complete its required duties.
While they're gone, the House will likely impose $500 a day fines against the absent Democrats. Abbott also wants anyone who pays for those fines with campaign contributions to be investigated for bribery. I'm Lauren McGaughy in Austin.
Meanwhile, California Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom is watching the Texas redistricting developments. He says if Texas Republicans succeed, he will move to redraw U.S. congressional districts in California, favoring Democrats. He'll seek to nullify any partisan gain by Republicans in the U.S. Congress. Israel's cabinet is expected to meet this week to decide whether to expand its war in Gaza. Right-wing pressure is growing to allow Israel's full annexation of Gaza and let Israeli civilians live in Gaza again. As NPR's Emily Fang reports, Jewish settlements existed in Gaza until 20 years ago.
A Tel Aviv University poll in July showed nearly 40% of Israelis support allowing civilian settlements in Gaza itself again. For almost 4 decades, Israel did physically occupy Gaza. Dov Waxman, a political scientist at the University of California, Los Angeles, explains.
The kind of burden of defending those settlements on the Israeli army and the financial cost, and as well as the cost in Israeli lives, that was one of the factors.
One of the factors, he says, that led Israel to end this physical occupation within Gaza in 2005. But 2 decades later, right-wing officials in Israel's government want to push out Palestinians from Gaza. Emily Fang, NPR News, Tel Aviv.
A new Trump administration plan will require travelers from certain countries to pay a bond of $15,000 before getting a tourist or business visa in the U.S. NPR's Tovia Smith reports the Trump administration says this is a pilot program meant to ensure that those visitors don't overstay their visas.
It's not yet known which countries will be subject to the new requirement, but it'll be those with the highest rate of overstaying visas, as ranked by DHS data. A public notice in the Federal Register explaining the new rule says it will address a clear national security threat of overstays and lax screening. Visitors will have to enter the U.S. through specific airports and put down between $5,000 and $15,000, which they'd get back if and when they leave on time. The new restrictions are likely to make travel to the U.S. too costly for many. They're set to go into effect later this month and will remain for a year as officials evaluate how they're working. Tovia Smith, NPR News.
The board of Tesla has approved a new stock award for leader Elon Musk. It's worth up to $29 billion. NPR's Camila Dominowski has more.
Several years ago, a Delaware court threw out Elon Musk's record pay package, in part because the judge found the board was too cozy with Musk. The company has appealed that decision. But for now, the board has approved this pay package. A third the size of the original, which is to say, still unprecedented in size. It would be granted in 2 years if Musk has remained in, quote, continuous service as CEO, and if the original pay package remains void. Members of the board of directors wrote to shareholders that this is, quote, a first step good faith payment to Elon. Camila Dominowski, NPR News.
Officials with the defense contractor Palantir are reporting a surge in earnings. NPR's Bobby Allen reports the company's AI-driven software has won hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts with the Trump administration.
Palantir told its shareholders that its stock price has surged more than 500% in the past year, and U.S. government contracts are driving it. The Trump administration has tapped the company's advanced AI software to track deportations, crunch data at the IRS, and help the Pentagon with overseas surveillance and drone operations. In all, an estimated $300 million in new or expanded contracts have been extended to Palantir since January. As Palantir's government business grows, critics say the so-called spy tech firm is receiving preferential treatment in the White House. Some former employees say its business with the Trump administration violates the company's own commitments to civil liberties. Bobby Allen, NPR News.
Big brand companies and retailers are assessing how long they can absorb costs from President Trump's tariffs. Virtually all imports are affected by the tariffs. Many stores have been keeping prices lower, especially for the back-to-school shopping season. Up until now, most shoppers have been buying products that were already in stock before most tariffs kicked in. NPR's Alina Selyuk explains.
The biggest tariffs have been paused and delayed through the spring and most of the summer, with the latest deadline for many countries coming up later this week. And so retailers, wholesalers, and distributors have had a lot of time to stockpile their goods. But eventually, those stockpiles will run out, and supply chain experts are saying already the cost of warehousing across the country has started going up as demand for storage space outpaces supply in some places. The National Retail Federation is urging the Trump administration to lower tariffs, saying that some small businesses will simply have to close because of costs. Alina Selyuk, NPR News.
An Arkansas judge says that a law mandating that the 10 Commandments be posted in certain public spaces is unconstitutional. Little Rock Public Radio's Josie Lenora has more.
Act 573 requires a copy of the 10 Commandments be hung in all public schools and buildings. Monday evening, Judge Timothy Brooks of the Western District blocked the law. His ruling called the mandate, quote, exclusionary, and said it usurps the rights of people who practice other faiths. The suit was brought by the ACLU of Arkansas. They represented several plaintiffs who were non-Protestant or non-religious. Supporters of the legislation said the signs will stand as a public value statement. Arkansas Attorney General Tim Griffin says he's considering his options for next steps. For NPR News, I'm Josie Lenora.
A federal judge has ruled that music mogul Sean Diddy Combs cannot be released from jail ahead of his sentencing date. Combs was convicted on federal prostitution-related charges earlier this summer. He was acquitted of more serious sex trafficking charges. Combs' sentencing hearing is set for early October. Today is the annual Dolly Parton Day in Nashville, Tennessee. And this year, the Guinness Book of World Records has declared the country music star an official icon. It points to Dolly Parton's numerous hits over a career spanning more than 60 years. This is NPR.